Hello friends, it's Cassandra. Welcome to a very casual video. I tried to film this on my good camera and it kept just quitting on me and not saving any of the video it had filmed, so I gave up. We're filming this on my vlogging camera, which is not as good quality, but it is what it is. I've been trying to film this all morning, so I'm kind of over it, but I want to tell you guys what happened in Kentucky. So let's get into it. I'm going to tell this in 3 parts, kind of. They'll all be in this one video, but just like the order. I'm going to talk about the job itself, the living situation, and my relationship with God. Because those are the 3 aspects that all went very poorly, and why I ended up quitting my job and moving back in with my parents after only 2 months. Also, my voice is a little bit trashed because whenever I'm away from the family dog and I come back, it's like my allergies forget that they built up immunity or whatever. So I get hit really hard with allergies, super bad the first couple days. I'm back with my dog and then I reacclimate to it, but it's rough right now, so just bear with me. That's why I'm drinking tea. Okay, to the video. So when I was looking for work back in March and April, I wanted something that wasn't a desk job because I'd worked a desk job for 2 years prior and it was miserable for me. I was bored out of my mind and I didn't enjoy it at all. And I wanted something where I was actively doing stuff with my hands and could see the work I was doing, not just clicking on a computer, copy and paste. So my mom was like, why don't you apply for the Creation Museum or the Ark Encounter? And I was like, that sounds great. So I did, and I thought the job was like, go and talk about the exhibits and lead tours and things like that. And it wasn't. It was, you'll be working in retail and you'll be working with culinary, our food service menus, and you'll be working in admissions and just doing the ground operational work. And she was like, does that sound like something you're interested in? And my immediate thought was, no, that's not what I want to do. But I said yes, because it's an interview and you want them to think you're interested until you decide you're not interested. And instead of going home and thinking about it and being like, okay, I don't think this is a good fit for me, I sat there and I convinced myself it was a good fit for me because I was like, it's working for a ministry, it's working with my hands, it's going to be different every day, I'm going to like it. And I get there and the first 2 weeks I'm like, yeah, this is fun. And then the novelty wears off. And are you doing something different every day? Yeah, but it's the 3 same things that are different things, but it's like a rotation of 3 things, basically. And half of the time, you show up to work and they're like, well, there's nothing for us to do today, so just walk the park until, there's something to do. So, I had one day I walked the park for 4.5 hours out of my 8-hour shift. Because there was nothing to do. Why am I here? Why am I here if there's nothing to do? That was one of my issues with the job. The other was just that I was not happy to serve like everyone else was. Everyone else on my team, I loved the people I worked with. They were great, very encouraging, very positive, very go get 'em people. They were amazing. Probably the best coworkers I've ever had. But that doesn't make a bad job a good job if you're never working with your coworkers, because we're always put into different departments to fill in for the day. My job was the fill-in department. Wherever the other departments need help, we go and we help them. And that's why it's different every day, because you're helping a different department each day. The job was not for me. I found it boring. I found it repetitive, even though it was different in variety. You're working food service, you're working food service. You're working retail, you're working retail. It's not that thrilling or exciting or new. They were talking about how in the slow season we do more housekeeping related stuff. We'll clean, will clean the chairs in the auditorium. I'm like, that sounds like torture. And everyone else is like, that's so fun. I love doing that. It's like relaxing and soothing. I'm happy for you. I'm glad there are people in the world that enjoy that work because I can't do it. And so it just became more and more apparent that I did not fit in with the team. And I hated the work. I dreaded coming to work every single day. Any job, I know that with any job, you know, you're going to have days where you're like, I just don't want to go to work. But when it's every day, this is not for me. So that's what went down on the work side of things. That being said, this is nothing against the ARC. Like, you should absolutely go visit the ARC Encounter. You should absolutely go visit the Creation Museum. Support Answers in Genesis. What they're doing is so great, so important. I love the ministry. The work itself, the operational work, does not fit my temperament and my personality and my abilities. That's why the job didn't work out. Not because they're bad employers or anything like that. It's just that it's not a good fit for me. I want to make that clear. On the housing side of things, I told them, well, I can't start the job until I find a place to live, so do you have any recommendations? And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. We have housing for you. And I was like, awesome, sweet. I didn't get a lot of detail about how small it was, so I just packed like I was packing for a college dorm. Bro, it is smaller than a college dorm. It is, I think my parents took back at least half the stuff that I brought with me. Because there was no room. There was no room whatsoever. Forget about, like, bringing my sewing machine or bringing, you know, like, hobby things with me. You bring the bare necessities to live, and that is it. And so, after, 2 weeks in housing, I'm starting to suffocate creatively because I can't, make music and stuff because I have to respect the other people living there. Like, I can't just be loud and do my own thing. I mean, I could, but that would be rude and inconsiderate. And I don't have my birds with me, which have been my emotional support animals for 5 years. And so that was hard. And I can't, sew or anything because where would I keep my sewing machine in this tiny little dorm? And I was dying creatively. My therapist said, you are suffocating where you're at. Yeah, so there's nothing to do. Like, when you get off work, what do you go home and do? Like, hang out with friends? Okay. I thought I had, started to make a group of friends. And then in the third week or so, about the same time that I realized I don't enjoy this job, it's very boring and not fulfilling, the girls I had been hanging out with started continuously making plans without me. And that obviously sucks a lot, to have people that, you think you're friends with them and then it turns out they don't want to hang out with you. So that was really rough, happening all at the same time. And I live with these girls, so it's not like I can just get away from them and not think about it. It's no, they're always there, always hanging out without me. So I'm just constantly reminded of it. Oh, these girls don't like me, or whatever it is, that they don't want to hang out with me. So that wasn't good. So, my therapist and my family, we all decided I just need to get out of housing, and once I'm out of housing and able to be more free and breathe and relax and have my own personal space to recuperate, I can better evaluate, the job situation. The issue was you can't afford housing on your own. You have to have a roommate. And so I was gonna move in with this girl that I worked with, but it was gonna be the same situation. We'd be sharing a bedroom. I wouldn't have my own private space really, And because it was a temporary solution, I wasn't going to bring any of my hobby stuff over because that's a lot of work. And so it would be basically me living in the dorms with less people. Like, it wasn't going to fix anything. And so I finally reached out to my mom and I was like, hey, I've been thinking this for a while, and everyone I've talked to has been like, why don't you just do this? And I feel like you're going to say no. But what if I just moved back in with you and Dad until I figure out what I'm doing? And she was like, actually, we talked about that and you can do that. So I was like, lit. I cried, actually. I was like, lit. That's what I'm going to do. So that's how that happened. On the God side of things, the spiritual side of things, in a big move, your schedule changes, and I wasn't reading the Bible every night like I have been doing for a long time. So I got out of routine with that, and I was like, that's why my relationship with God isn't so good right now, because I'm not in the Bible like I used to be. And that was probably true at first. But once the job started to not go well, and once I started to not have friends, and once I started to hate my housing situation, I got mad at God, and I was like, why would you bring me here if it was going to be like this? And so my relationship with God crumbled. I stopped talking to him. I stopped caring about him, and I was just like, I'll talk to you again when I get myself out of this situation, because you brought me here and I'm not happy with you, so I'm gonna take care of it and then we can be friends again. That was my mindset for a long time. And then the last week that I was in Kentucky, I was like, maybe God brought me here to test me, because up until the move, I was like, God, I trust you with my career. I trust you with my future, husband, and I trust you with my life. And God, you're so good, and I just trust you. And I'm like, what if this is a test for God to be like, okay, you trust me when you think you're getting what you want and you think life is going good for you. You say you trust me, that's easy. Do you trust me when life is hard? And I failed that test, if it was indeed a test. I failed it big time, because the second life got hard, I was like, God, why would you do this to me? You're the worst, and I don't want to have a relationship with you anymore. And that was big to realize, put me a step in the right direction of reconciling my relationship with God. Yeah. But also, as I was driving home yesterday, I was just thinking about how, when I went through my breakup, you can be mad at your ex, for breaking your heart or whatever. But when life goes wrong, who do you get to be mad at? The natural instinct is to be mad at God and blame God for your situation, because you feel you like to pretend that it was all out of control. But when I thought about it, I'm like, no, I'm the one that convinced myself this was a job I wanted, when I knew immediately after she described the job this wasn't a job I wanted. And I'm the one that said, I'm going to give up my entire life for a job. And that's on me. I should be mad at myself. I've been mad at God the whole time. I should have been mad at myself. So, that's also been helpful in healing that relationship with God. I knew, while I was in Kentucky, this is not a permanent, I'm not walking away from the faith or anything. I'm not abandoning Christianity and my beliefs in God. But I'm mad right now, so, let me have a tantrum, and and I'll be done in a little bit. So, not very mature of me, for sure. For sure, not a mature move. But I'm still I need to find, now that I've moved here, I need to find a good church home. I need to get back in the Bible daily. I need to really work on my, fixing my relationship with God. there's no part of me that's like abandoning the faith or anything. It was just a challenging time spiritually, and I need to now heal from that. That being said, like, what does the future look like? That's what my last 2 months looked like. What does the future look like? I have no idea. I have no clue, because I've never in my life wanted a career other than to be an author or like a pop star singer. That was a dream in 5th grade. And now I am pursuing music, obviously, so I'm like interested in performing or whatever, but I've never wanted a traditional career, I should say. So now that I've tried office work and now that I've tried hands-on work, and they've both turned out poorly for me, like I'm miserable in the work, I dread work every day. Where do I go from here? Those are the two options. You get an office job or you get a hands-on job. Oh, you want to be a creative? Oh, well, you have to have a job to support you in your creative endeavors until you make it as a creative. If you ever make it. There's no guarantee that just because you manage to write a book, it's going to be published and people are going to read it. There's no guarantee that, just because you've been a singer and you've been releasing music for a year, people are going to start listening to it. And you'll get famous and get to tour. There's no guarantee of success in the creative fields. And so I don't know how to pursue a career I will enjoy. That's the end of the sentence. I don't know how to pursue a career I will enjoy because I don't know what kind of career I will enjoy. I thought, I'll go to cosmetology school while I live with my parents. That was the original plan. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that's just throwing $15,000 at a problem and hoping that it's going to fix the problem. But there's no logic behind the answer that being a cosmetologist is something I'll enjoy. Like, yeah, I cut my roommate's hair and I cut my hair and I dye my hair all the time and I love doing my roommate's nails. But as a job, would I enjoy that? Would I enjoy the business side of, like, retaining clients? No. I already know that. So, like, why am I going to go spend $15,000 more when I'm already $20,000 in debt from my undergrad? Why would I go spend more money to be in the same predicament? There's no jobs I'm going to enjoy. All I've wanted since I was 13 was to be a stay-at-home wife. Like, yeah, I've always been like, yeah, I'll be a mom eventually. But the primary goal has always been to be a wife. Well, you can't just, here's my resume, hire me to be a wife. And at this point in time, I feel like my life is kind of in shambles, so I feel like I'm not in a place where I can go date somebody, because what do I have to offer? Like, my life isn't together anymore. It was together 3 months ago. I had it all together. Babe, I had an apartment. I was paying bills. I had a great community. And then I don't have any of that anymore. So I have no idea. I know I said in my Instagram post, like, I have so many thoughts on the future. My thoughts are not concrete. Like, they're not plans. Like, this is what I'm going to do and how I'm going to rebuild my life. My plan is that when my parents get back from vacation, we're going to have a long discussion about, I don't know. I'm just hoping they, in their wisdom, have answers for me other than a job is just a job and you'll be miserable and that's just what you have to do because that's life. But I know that's probably the answer, is just suck it up, buttercup. A lot of people work jobs they don't enjoy and you're gonna be one of them. Yeah, those are my thoughts. That's what happened in Kentucky. That's where I'm at now. It's not a great place to be, but it's where I'm at. So if you want to go on this journey with me, you're welcome to. Follow me here, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It's all Cassandra's Pocket. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's not a exciting place to be. It's not an entertaining place to be. It's just how it is. I had some people reach out to me and be like, a lot of young people are moving back in with their parents right now, so you're not alone. And like, that's great. But it doesn't make me feel any better. It doesn't make me feel like I didn't fail and mess up so bad that now here I am. I've been trying to think how to end this video. It's hours later if you are watching the clock. And I don't know how to end this video. I don't want you to leave this like feeling bad for me, and I don't want you to leave this, I don't know how I want you to leave this video. I just wanted to let you know what was going on, which I've done, and now I'm like, okay, now what? So I guess go listen to Another Day. Go listen to Where You Lead if you want to support me. I don't even know if I'm going to leave comments on in this video, just because it's not a pity party, and I don't want a bunch of comments that are like, oh, I'm so sorry about what happened. Like, I don't want that kind of response. I don't know what kind of response I want. I don't really want one. I just want to let you know what's going on. I don't know, man. Go listen to my music. Thanks, bye.